All right, let's talk about the quarterback controversy that was and then wasn't. I mean, there was a point when I was just convinced, okay, here we go. Bailey Zappe's the guy. The Patriots have done it again. Tom Brady 2.0. And then it fell off the rails. I actually thought Zappe played all right in this game. Maybe that's a controversial take. We can get into it. But I thought that he played pretty well in this one, even though it went off the rails. I don't really blame him for that too much. So let's talk about what went right early on and then what went wrong. And kind of, I'm not saying he was perfect in this one. He made some mistakes as well. So let's get into all of it, starting off with this play. So this was a positive. I love a good play like this where your team, the Patriots, who are known for running the football. So you're going to run a play action and you're going to have a receiver run a kind of a deeper route over the middle. This is a very common route to try and beat this type of coverage where you have a receiver run over the middle. You can run the play action, which gets linebackers to move in, throw over the top of them. So how do you counteract this if you're Chicago? Well, typically what you do is you have the corner who's lined up in that area, the guy who's going to be covering the the top right-hand corner of the screen. So the deep left-hand corner for the offense, he can run over the middle, cover up that route. But that means that there could be a hole there. So if New England sends another receiver in that direction, that's how that can get wide open. Typically, if you see someone completely wide open on that side of the field, this is the concept that causes it. You can't cover this. A linebacker has to pick it up, but still, that's a mismatch. A linebacker trying to cover Jacoby Myers on this play. I mean, if you're New England, you're going to take that every single time. Look at how when this play begins, though, a linebacker doesn't even pick this up. I mean, eventually he does, but it takes a long time. So you have Jacoby Myers wide open here. This is an easy touchdown. Now, it looks like Zappe kind of throws it to the wrong shoulder, so that could have been a disaster. Still ends up being a touchdown, so not the best throw there to get the big completion, but this is him running the offense. This was definitely a schemed open play. Love a good, concept like this. Definitely always not always, but definitely can work out, and I'm just a big fan of doing it in general. Going over here now, one of the reasons why there was the quarterback controversy was because you would see Zappe doing stuff like this, where it's going to be a one-on-one matchup with Devontae Parker. And also, just a little teaser, I will give my thoughts on the going back to Mac Jones as the everyday starter at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But what's happening here, it's a one-on-one matchup on the outside. They went out and got Parker because they feel like he can win one-on-one matchups on the outside. Right when this play begins, you're going to see how there's not really separation, but that's not Parker's game. He's not a separation guy. He's a jump ball contested catch guy, and he does it very well. This is, what Patriots fans remember all too well when he was able to get the best of Gilmore in that, Week 17 matchup that meant they didn't get the bye in Tom Brady's last season. However, Mac Jones hadn't really gotten on the same page with Parker so much when, Mac Jones was playing early on. You did see Zappe get on the same page with him. Look, as you see, Zappe's going to make this throw, and you are going to see a, great catch from Parker. So, great play by the receiver. So how much credit do you give the quarterback for that? Well, he threw it to the receiver, so you have to give him some credit. He made that decision. At the end of the day, quarterbacks are decision makers, and he made the correct decision on that play, in my opinion. Also a good throw, but a great catch by Parker. And even some smaller, kind of littler things. This is the last, just straight up good play before we get into some other stuff. What's going to happen here is it's a zone coverage play. You're running a concept that can hopefully scheme open your running back on this play, which is Ramondre Stevenson. Look at how when Zappe takes the snap, he is going to look in Stevenson's direction. Ramondre Stevenson is open here. So Zappe makes a good throw that allows Stevenson to make the catch while moving and pick up some yards. So again, very simple stuff. Nothing Zappe is doing here is anything to write home about. He's been fine. He's been a fine game manager, which is exactly what he was when he was, playing earlier. That's kind of what his game is. So then what went wrong then? Because, the Patriots offense got off to such that hot start when Zappe was out there, but then kind of struggled from that point on. What were the issues? To be honest, I thought it was a lot of stuff out of his control. I thought there was receivers not getting open. There was an interception that was on a tipped pass. Like, some of this stuff was just kind of fluky stuff that I don't blame Zappe for. There's a few things I do blame him for. So let's talk about those things that I do blame him for. So first off, this one, it's going to be a zone coverage play. You have a receiver. It's kind of a possession route, trying to just gain a few yards right here. It's a 1st down and 10. You know the Patriots love to run a methodical offense. This route can help them do that. Look at how Zappe's going to take the snap. He is going to look in that direction. There is a window for him to make this throw. And as you see, he just misses the throw. So, again, this wasn't a big issue. I didn't see him do this a ton, but if I'm talking about the issues that I saw from Zappe, this was one of those issues that I saw him miss this throw right here. There were a few missed plays by Zappe. I really don't think there was a lot. I don't think this was a horrendous situation from him. I don't think that he was really to blame for this type of situation. It just, I actually thought that this was a fine game by his standards. Again, it wasn't his best game either. He wasn't I think the one thing you could say is he didn't go above and beyond on any plays. He did look kind of like a backup player. But to me, that's kind of how I feel like he's looked so far this season. To me, he looked like Bailey Zappe in this game as well. There's the other interception, which definitely hurt. This was probably his worst play, which it sucks because it didn't really matter that much at this point. They were already down 14-33. We're talking, only a handful of minutes, only a couple minutes left in the game. So it's basically the game's over at this point. But the way the play works, it's a man coverage play. Hey, you're still getting reps in. This is still stuff you see on tape. You can still get criticized for it if you screw up. You see the route. Good route against the type of concept. It's a good angle because there's no one covering the middle of the field. One-on-one matchup. These routes can absolutely work. Look at how when this play begins, you're going to see right here, it's open. I mean, this, it looked like Zappe was looking in a different direction, but this should be a completion. The issue is, I would say this is a good defensive play, but watch, Zappe doesn't really put a ton on that one as well. It ends up getting intercepted, so not ideal there by New England, certainly. That's not something you wanted to see happen. A bit of a bad play, I would say, by Zappe. But I'm also not going to sit here and say this was a horrendous, terrible play or a horrendous, terrible game from Bailey Zappe. I think he was fine. I do think that he was fine. And I think that it's fine to make the change back to Mac Jones as well. I told you I would give my opinion on it. I have no real issue with it. I think Mac Jones has shown to be the better player in the sample size we've seen. So go with the guy who you feel like is the better player, also in his second year and has higher upside. But to me, I just want to make a video kind of explaining, I did not think that Zappe was a complete mess here. I thought Zappe played fine. I think Zappe was a solid player, and he just, there were some issues that were outside of his control, and he missed a few throws. But to me, Zappe has shown that the New England Patriots have at least a quality backup for the next 4 years for relatively cheap. So you'll certainly take that. That's worth the draft pick you spent on him. And I think that, going back to Mac Jones is fine. If Mac Jones continues to struggle the way that he struggled early on in the season, though, it wouldn't be crazy to go back to Zappe, though, because he's been better than Jones this season, in my opinion. But also, Jones was much better than either of them last season. Jones's 2021 season much better than Jones's 2022 season or Zappe's 2022 season. So I stick with Jones, but that's what I think. What do you guys think? What were your thoughts on Zappe? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.